What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Happy Friday.
Yeah, welcome to AdSquawk, everybody.
Hey.
It's freaking Friday.
Yes.
I do like
also
the fact
March
that we do this on Fridays.
It's nice.
I do too.
That is a good.
We are recording earlier than normal. I was going to say
Normally-lier?
normally than earlier.
It's a little peer behind the curtain.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome to AdSquawk, your weekly deep dive into all things advertising. Grab a drink, even though it is a little early. Pull up a chair. Let's talk shop. I'm Sean. Today I'm joined by...
Hello, I'm Jody again.
And Eddie is here.
I'm Danielle.
It's the usual suspects.
The usual
Yeah.
suspect.
A huge.
Potentially steal from another podcast.
It's just borrowing.
Just borrowing.
Yeah, there's nothing new.
We
under
haven't
the sun.
monetized anything, so...
Can I get a quick sponsor plug in? I was just telling Jody this. It's the first. We're recording this on the first Friday of Lent, which gives this particular cat licker, as I call myself, the opportunity to hit up the Del Taco for their shrimp, their shrimp soft tacos.
Oh, yum!
Shrimp tacos and a bean burrito, and I'm feeling good. So
That is delicious.
thank you, Del Taco.
Can you eat chicken on Fridays?
Not during Lent.
Not during
Well,
Lent?
yeah, it's like
I thought it was
anything
a red meat.
warm-blooded. Anything
Oh,
warm-blooded.
okay,
right?
okay.
So fish is okay.
that all-you-can-eat sushi bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's basically when you're a first world Catholic, it's an excuse to go out to sushi. Or when I was a kid, the big deal would be hitting Long John Silver's. Woo!
Well, isn't that why McDonald's came up with their
Filet
filet
of
fish?
fish,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. People who aren't Catholic probably don't even notice it, but this time of year,
They push it.
you'll see,
Yeah.
you'll start to see Skipper's ads.
Yep.
You'll see Long John Silver ads.
I have not ever noticed that.
The
But you're
Red
right.
Lobster will have Lobster Fest. All you can eat Lobster Fest. It's totally
Not
totally
to be
because of
confused with Lobster Feast.
yes, exactly. Because of Lent. My son is a huge fan of Red Lobster, which is funny because he's quite the gourmand. He actually is a kid that eats a lot of fine meals. Yet there's something about Red Lobster.
It's the cheddar biscuits.
Well,
it's
yeah.
100% the cheddar biscuits.
That doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt.
Gourmand? Is that what you called
A
it?
gourmand,
Gourmand?
somebody who enjoys eating food
A
versus
fancy
somebody
boy.
who
Fancy.
What's your
enjoys
foul fact for the
cooking
day?
food, which would be a gourmet.
Oh.
Gourmet
I love these
gourmand.
little things.
See, I didn't know that either. I'm learning a lot.
Alouette, gentil alouette.
You speak.
Annie knows French.
Damn. Eddie's dropping all these fancy
I know.
thing so
I know. I
far.
don't even
Fancy
know.
Eddie Friday.
All right, well, a little bit of housekeeping. I want to give a shout out to a former coworker who is definitely listening, our only listener over in Spain. So thank you, Romina.
Oh, she's listening in Spain. That's awesome.
I was like, oh, we got like 3 listens in Spain. And then she commented on one.
Nova, we miss you.
Come back and visit.
Yes, soon. There's the crunching of the ice. Wouldn't be a good podcast without some ice crunching.
Some ASMR.
sorry, yeah.
That's all it is.
Goosebumps. So cool shit that we cool shit out in the market that is new. And this week, Halo Top launched.
Ice cream for adults, cause adults need a lot of ice cream.
I love that.
They launched a new campaign. Actually, it's their first national campaign. They've done a little bit of like kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff in the past, but so they released a suite of 4 spots that are very
They're
dark.
funny.
They're awesome. Well written and super funny. I love this campaign.
I was also impressed with the child actors. I thought they did well.
Yes, well directed. I think this.
72 and
I
Sunny.
think that 72 and Sunny is
Good shout out.
obviously on a roll. Adult humor. One of the great things about juxtaposing adults against kids is you can kind of tap into this nihilistic nature of becoming an adult, right? And how we all sort of slowly become more and more nihilistic the older we get. And if you think about what's funny about it is real human beings actually spend a shit ton of money trying to not become that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to find happiness.
Yeah.
We spend shit on psychoanalysts and counselors and antidepressants and all sorts of shit. We work out. We
Eat Del Taco.
Del Taco.
We take our vitamins.
Uh-huh.
And yet because of the struggle is real, that nihilism humor really works well. And it's funny when I saw those ads. This kind of goes full circle with maybe our first or second episode. We were talking about or maybe it was the Super Bowl episode where we were talking about the Monster.com campaign from about 6 to 8 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And
I want to be a yes man.
yes, man, yes, sir, no, sir. I want to file all day. I want to reach glass ceilings. And that's that same sort of kind of kids able to play off of this nihilistic adult, and it's easy to say that's a like a kind of a thing, but it's not easy to execute. It really requires great directing, good acting, and a good concept to begin with, right? And so anyway, yeah, good campaign.
They did a good job weaving that thread throughout the 4 different spots, but there's definitely different demos that they're trying to reach, but it still had that really consistent theme. I thought the quote of the entire campaign was, "It's like waterboarding, except you do it to yourself."
Except for you do it to yourself.
What I thought.
I lost it at that one. I thought it was interesting that they got Nick, what's his last name?
Oh, the guy from The
From
Bachelor.
Bachelor, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
I wouldn't have recognized him, but I'd read a little intro to the spots. And so then immediately I was able to tell, oh, that must be him,
Yeah.
because it was very
Was that the younger guy?
contextual.
Yeah, that was the love spot.
Oh, yes.
And
He's
what-
like, no. Now that makes okay. Inside joke. Didn't get it. Still funny. Yeah. Well done.
We'll link to these spots too in the episode.
Yeah, definitely.
so everyone can watch them if they haven't seen them
Yeah,
live.
they're very entertaining
So
and
there was-
great casting.
Totally. Well, and like you said, the kids did a really good job. Yeah, I mean, just the last spot that I saw was the one where the girl was talking to about her mom, who's like on the phone and wanting to become a partner at this
Yeah.
like insurance agency. It's just,
Morally
she needs this
questionable.
Morally
More than
questionable
questionable
insurance
insurance
agency. The other thing that I would love to point out from a standpoint of production value and total concept is how they ended with that little jingle.
You mean this
If you've
little
ever-
jingle right here, Ed?
Ice cream for adults, cause adults need a lot of ice cream.
So it's a jingles jingle, right?
Yes,
it's,
it is.
It's a tongue-in-cheek jingles jingle, which makes and it completely juxtaposes against the color correction, everything else done in the nihilistic ice cream truck, and so that it's just so well done. It really is. So good job, 72 and Sunny.
Nothing negative to say from any of us.
Nada. Other than I've never had that ice cream.
Oh, okay, so we can go into
Me
the
neither.
product.
And that's my
I'd love to go into
one
the
thing is I
product.
hope that the product's actually decent.
So I think it's hit and miss depending on the flavor. Personally, like
It
So
is.
you have had it?
I've had it. Yeah,
They're
Clark and I
very
have 'em.
experimental with their flavors. I mean, they've got like
I like how you put that.
Do they have chewing tobacco?
No,
it's
ew.
not that
'Cause I would
experimental.
hit that.
They've got like green tea and mochi and
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
just have a really wide variety of them, and like some of them are dairy free.
But you know, that's where frozen confections is right now. Though.
And it's like
my kids go
low-cal, high
to a
protein.
grocery store where they have a mochi bar, and they go and they pick out their own
Yeah.
mochi ice creams, and they're getting green tea and
Again, whatever
and
that
mint
word was that
and
we talked
banana
about.
mint and things like that.
What's that word? The food eater.
Oh, the gourmand.
They're gourmand.
Yes.
Is it gourmand or gourmand?
I believe it's gourmand.
Gourmand.
But
M-O-N-D.
I would recommend my favorite flavor is peanut butter cup. That one's
Ooh.
balls good
Yum.
for sure. You will enjoy. And one of my favorite like standard ice cream flavors
on.
is mint chip. Balls
Yeah.
good.
Wait,
it's
wait.
a thing.
I had to go back
Come
on
back
that
to
too.
it. Come back to it. Let's discuss. What are your questions?
On a scale of 1
I've
to
never
10.
heard. I've never heard those two things
How about this?
next to each other.
Gentlemen,
Balls good.
Gentlemen, let me speak your language. Their tits good.
Oh.
Okay,
That's fair.
But tits are actually good. Nobody likes balls.
Everyone, their balls good. It's a saying.
Okay, all right.
Get on board.
Okay, all right. I'm on board.
Get on board.
I get it.
It doesn't have to make sense.
No,
Yeah.
nothing.
I get it.
Yeah.
I never tried
Anyway,
that ice cream.
I prefer that's a rip in the chat, though.
It's a rip in the chat.
I've never heard that one, but I'm on board with you.
See, this
I
is like a
mean-
team
You
building
don't
exercise.
want to know what it means, though?
Don't.
Aren't you curious?
Yeah, talk to me.
Well, but
That's what the kids are saying these days.
yeah,
I'm a kid.
it's a rip in the chat. It means that when you've killed somebody on Fortnite,
Oh, yeah.
the chat room over to the side will show a R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Okay.
And so when time someone gets died, you'll be like, oh, that's a rip in the chat.
That is what the
and
real
so
kids
now
say.
when something bad happens, you just, instead of saying, oh, that sucks, you say, oh, that's a rip in the chat.
Were you...
Or it's like a sick burn.
So now I need to rewind. Are you saying Ball's Good is a rip in the chat?
No, he just likes the sayings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I was just looking for a segue
Okay.
to say a rip in the chat.
I got
'cause it
you, I
makes me
got you.
seem au
Another good
courant.
saying.
There's another French word.
A tryhard.
Au courant.
What's it mean?
Au courant.
Of the now, of the current.
Oh,
Understanding current vernacular /
You've used that one before.
au courant. Yeah.
I think we
I
need
think
to-
au courant is. Actually, there was a TV show that took place in an ad agency. What was it, about 10 years ago?
I'm assuming it's not Mad Men.
No, not Mad Men.
was like-
No, before. Yeah, sorry. There was this little TV show. No, this was a network show, and they were. I want to say they were in New York, maybe Chicago. I don't know. And they were on like different floors. Creative was on 2 different floors, and it was only a show for like about a year. It was actually pretty good. And it was about a creative team. The 2 stars were 2 members of a creative team. And anyway, and you'd recognize the actor, at least one of them, maybe both of them. And the one used to always say that he was like the black T-shirt wearing guy, and he's always like, I'm in the old corral. I'm in the old corral. And it was, not flattering, but yet I still use it.
It's stuck. It's one of your. Yeah. I think we need to come up with a new game that is Edward Bingo.
Trust me.
Oh, we would have to make. We'd have to
we would have a
a design.
I think
And it would
that's
have
it.
all kinds of Edward sayings.
Who was the
Yeah.
star in that? It's someone famous now.
Tom Cavanaugh and Eric McCormick.
Eric McCormick, yeah. He's the guy from da da da. They just started up
Well, he
again.
was on the practice.
No, let him.
But-
You'll get there. Karen's on
no,
it.
not
Yes.
the practice.
Da-da-da?
Yes.
No.
Two
Will and
names.
Grace.
Yes, Will and
Oh,
Grace.
I was-
Thank you. Yeah.
Dang.
Anyway,
Anyway,
You made him earn that. Well done.
I mean, Sean said it, so
Yeah.
I was trying to. It feels better when you get it yourself, and he was there.
yeah, I was there. Thanks, Sean.
Yep. Well, thank Google
Yeah.
or Wikipedia.
It's like
Don't,
when it's like when your kid knocks on the bedroom door. You know what I'm saying?
No, I've just been the child thus far.
That's balls good.
You. That is not balls good.
Not balls.
That's balls
balls
bad.
Balls bad.
A balls bad flavor of Halo Top. I do need to get this out. Is mint chip. Don't try it.
Don't try
You're
Sucks.
it.
wrong.
You like
You're
it?
wrong.
So
It's
this
good.
is good. You like that? one?
Yes.
The texture is like kind of chalky.
It is a little chalky. It's okay. So the thing about Halo Top is don't go into it expecting it to taste like dairy ice cream
'Cause
because it's not.
It's supposed to be low cal, high protein. It's like good
Yeah.
for you.
You can
ice
eat a
cream.
pint and it's like 250 calories. So
A whole pint?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Oatmeal
You should-
cookie is where it's at for me.
You can eat a pint of water and have 0 calories. At some point, I don't know where the
That's not as tasty.
I would like.
and this shit I guarantee is not as tasty as real ice cream. What's wrong
No.
with just eating real ice cream? Why are we
Because
eating?
I eat a pint of
'Cause
real
we
ice
wanna be
cream and I
thin.
feel like shit, Ed.
Well, don't eat a pint of it.
Well, Halo Top's trained me to eat a pint. So
See,
I
that's the
like-
problem.
I would like for you guys to try Halo Top before we record next week, and then we can pick it back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I will do that.
So you would recommend
Peanut butter cup.
peanut butter cup?
Peanut butter cup.
Oatmeal cookie?
Oatmeal cookie.
Oatmeal cookie. Stay away from
Peanut
Candy
butter
bar's good.
cup.
Candy bar? All right.
I haven't tried candy bar. I got scared by like our initial flavor trials. I found PB cup that I liked, and I won't venture
Won't
out.
venture away.
Is this
Yeah.
an official thing with you? It's the flavor trial.
Clark and I like
Well,
bought a
isn't
bunch at the
everyone
time
that way?
to try
That's
to
the way I was as
sample
a
it.
kid.
Mhm.
I got 2 flavors of ice cream from Baskin Robbins, and it just depended on time of year. In the winter, I got mint chocolate chip, and in the summer, I got rainbow sherbet.
Oh,
Ooh.
also a classic. I don't think the old Halo
Sometimes.
Top has the sherbs.
Every
think so.
now and then, I would get crazy
Oh, boy.
and daiquiri ice
I don't.
Oh.
I've
on a
never had
sugar
that.
cone.
Oh.
What's your guys'
It's
favorite
also a
ice cream
sherbet.
overall? I have a good answer.
My favorite ice cream overall?
Yeah, brand and flavor.
Whoa.
Haagen-Dazs chocolate, easily. So yummy. It tastes like
But amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
tastes like a malt. Like, you know how the distinct flavor difference between a malt and a shake? Some peasants don't.
Oh, God.
And it's like, what?
A malt.
Give me that
is-
malt powder,
Oh,
baby.
Yes.
And get a shake out of my face.
Look at
No
how
shit.
excited both of you are.
So this is why I love you.
Because I'm a
Danielle.
gourmand.
Yes.
I think that's how you say it.
Well done working that back in.
Thanks.
A shake is a poor man's malt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, fuck. Why would you?
Ben and Jerry's
My
strawberry cheesecake.
Really?
Okay.
Sorry.
It's so good.
Oh, I've never had that.
It's more of a
That-
recent
that-
discovery,
that
but
sounds
it's
good.
fucking amazing.
Sounds good.
Like,
I was just gonna say that my Gormone son, if we go through a drive-through, he'll say, "I want a malt."
If they give you a shake?
and they say we don't have malts, we only have shakes. He
Really?
goes, no, never
good.
mind.
Never mind.
Same.
Yes.
Same. And has he
Kindred.
ever had the experience where you ask for malt, they bring you a shake, and you're like, I'm good.
Nope.
this isn't
Yeah.
what I ordered.
Did you take it back?
I've done.
I always
no.
tell 'em
I just.
double malt.
I'm just. My night's
Double the malt.
ruined. That's what happens.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I'm picky. It's life.
But you're not a jerk.
Oh
Take this garbage away.
no. I've done that once at a Red Robin. I was like, I think you guys brought me a shake, and then they didn't do anything. They brought me the same thing, and I didn't say anything again. I was like, thanks
Thanks a lot.
for nothing.
Dumb.
Ice cream.
Ooh. Like when I was a kid, it was the Baskin Robbins peanut butter and chocolate where it had the
Oh, yummy.
chunks of the peanut butter. That was,
Haagen-Dazs is a good one of
that
those
was my
too.
Baskin Robbins go-to as a kid. But the pralines and cream, classic.
Also, Baskin Robbins?
Also a great one. Baskin Robbins was really good. I do love the Haagen-Dazs, like the
It's a
bars.
luxury.
The bars.
Yeah.
Ugh, creamy, yummy deliciousness.
Eddie, how about you?
Probably mint chocolate chip, but
Brand?
classic.
Do you have a brand fave?
Baskin Robbins. But
Is that because of our era? Our
I
age?
think it was.
Yeah.
I think because you got ice cream.
31 flavors.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It was kind of a big deal as a kid. But now that I get older, I like some of the things that you would expect, like those
Prunes.
Magnum bars.
freaking Klondike bars or
Oh.
whatever.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Those are
and
have you tried the Magnum bars, you guys? Decadent.
I thought it was
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, they are decadent.
yeah, I didn't think I was in the target market for the Magnum. So
Rachel
I did get 'em.
Bilson was in the commercials, and she's a hottie, so she was talking directly to you, gentlemen.
That's well.
Did you see those spots? She's sitting in traffic
No.
on PCH, and she's like on top of the car eating the Magnum bar, like so good.
Missed that.
So they were trying to get you, but
Yes.
probably aware that
I'm just trying to be self-aware.
Self-aware. That's
so,
good.
no, I did try the Magnum. It was good.
But was it balls good?
But it wasn't balls good. There's one that are shaped like the Klondike bar that are also square, or maybe it's just that it's Klondike bar, but it's like a peanut butter.
Oh,
cup.
yeah, those are
the
yummy.
Reese's Klondike
Yeah.
bar,
Oh,
and
yeah.
those are pretty goddamn good, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
you just like boom,
It's
hit that,
not the easiest to eat ice cream in the winter and like
enjoy it as
much. You're like, I'm already cold, but
Yeah.
I think a hard candy shell on an ice cream bar is also difficult because it like cracks away. I don't like getting messy when I eat,
Can't do that
so
in the
that
car.
irritates me.
In the car, nothing worse than
Yeah.
not realizing that broke all over and you've got chocolate in your crotch.
Yeah.
Right.
Classic
You got
chocolate
dilly bar.
crotch.
We call that the dilly bar stain.
Oh,
Dilly bar?
Yeah. You see a guy and you're like, ooh, you got dilly barred.
just looks like poop.
Yeah, it does.
Diary of a
Occasionally
Wimpy
you'll
Kid.
see a
Great.
guy down by the veterans home who's gotten dilly barred, but he didn't have a dilly bar. If you know what I'm saying.
That's sad.
Oh, that took a sad
That
turn.
took a dark turn.
to play off the dark and nihilistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ice cream for adults, cause adults need a lot of ice cream.
Yes.
I love that. That just makes my heart happy. And the
It's a
little
great
kids,
jingle
yeah.
that's making fun of jingles. Like
It is.
Yeah.
And I love that because I like to mock in love.
Yeah. Well, you also like jingles.
I do. So this is really, it's a win-win-win for me.
Yep.
And
I
it's ice cream. So.
The mortgage one was funny. Of the Halo Top spots, the little girl goes up, or there's a group of children. They ask for ice cream. He's
I
like-
did this.
and I think he says, "I did homework," and he's like, "Well, this guy,
Paid his mortgage.
no,
did- you did barely enough.
he's working, but he can't even afford his mortgage." And I was
Right.
like, "Ooh, that hits home for Dan
Yeah, you close on a house soon.
next week."
Yeah. Are you
Please.
nervous?
You can afford your mortgage though, can't
Oh
you?
yeah, but
Okay.
it's it feels scary.
Yeah. And by the way, just so you know, there will be things that will break. You might want to put some money away.
Oh okay.
Did you get the Magnum house?
Probably. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Magnum Never mind.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
We're gonna have to. It's just not going anywhere.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, next segment. Cable's OTT problem.
It's a big one.
It is a big one. So AdWeek released an article recently that was talking about essentially the overall unsubscribes from or people who cut the cord in Q4 of 2018. So it's about 1 million customers, which
That seems to me to be a lot.
okay. So obviously it's national, so it's a lot, but it's also
What was the bigger picture? Do we know? Out of
Yeah,
how many
give
subscribers?
me context of that, because that
They
seems
didn't.
to me
It wasn't in the article either.
to be a lot.
yeah. But I mean the number. So if you're lumping in,
Sorry, I was reading an email. What was the stat again?
Q4 2018 saw 1 million customers cancel cable or satellite subscriptions. So it
Right.
does seem like a lot, but it's national and it's anything cable, satellite, so DirecTV, Dish, and you have to
And it's
think,
not net of the ads. either.
exactly. So you have to think that there's people who've cut the cord and then come back as well. I mean, that's a pretty standard.
Well, and the funny thing is that if you were in the cable business 15 years ago or 20 years ago and you weren't diversifying, tough luck.
right?
But you're in a business where there are different players in each at each different type of packaging, which is really bizarre. So think about it: cable TV versus broadcast television versus OTT is like having different companies that give you soda pop in a can versus a different company supplies you soda pop in a bottle, and a third company does soda pop
As a fountain drink.
as a fountain drink, right?
In a plastic bag for a
versus
third
one
one.
company. So all that's happening is the industry is going to best practice, which is that one or two or three companies own the entire distribution channels, right?
Yeah. Well, and so
And maybe and that's a gross exaggeration. It's more like 30 or 50 worldwide, that sort of thing. But consolidation of distribution channels is going to happen in anything.
yeah. Well,
right?
we were just talking before the podcast about DirecTV specifically being owned by
AT&T, who owns a lot.
everything. And they're doing some stuff to kind of come.
They own telephones and telegraphs,
They do.
but only the American ones.
Yep. They're doing some stuff with like DirecTV Now to try and combat that. And I mean, I cut the cord from DirecTV a few years ago, and it was just, I still get bombarded with phone calls of like, hey, come back. We'll pay you to come back. That's how desperate they are.
So I actually got paid to
Those
stay,
notes.
right? So I called to cancel, right? And they're like, well, how about if we give you this discount? And I'm like, well, I already have that discount. And he goes, no, I'll give you that again. So I was like, okay, so wait a minute. You're going to give me this discount plus this discount. That means that you now owe me $3.31 every month. And he goes, well, we're not going to pay you. It'll just show up as a credit on your account. And I was like, okay, so this is
a free service.
this
now?
is not only free. Well, no, it was better because then
They're paying him $3 a month.
They didn't cash it out, but I used it to rent movies.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. So now that has expired.
Wow.
So now I only have half of my twice as much discount. So it cost me $50 a month.
See, this is why I didn't do this though, is because I got sick and tired of calling them every 3
I love
months.
calling them though. It's
Oh,
great
man,
because
it's
you
the-
talk to some.
Jody, you would
Jody
fucking love
gets to
this.
talk to somebody.
He even
Hey,
before you got here, Ed, Jody was like, I could call and cancel it on air, and I was like, yeah, it would take 40 hours.
Yeah.
right.
No, the trick is you got to call and immediately say, "Would you transfer me to customer retention?"
Exactly.
Because the person that you originally talked to, God bless him, if you are one of those people, I love you, but you're a moron.
But
I was going
die.
to say that 19-year-old is very disgruntled with
Have
their
you
day job.
ever talked to the IRS?
Yes, I got
Jesus.
audited once. That guy was a peach.
They make DirecTV look like frickin' Mensa society.
Are any of you familiar with the comedian Chris D'Elia?
Yes.
Did you see any of his recent stuff about his battle with, I can't remember what cable network it was, but he
Oh, no.
went after them on Twitter because he was like, there were weeks and weeks of back and forth via email and scheduling, and they won't follow through. So yeah, I fucking blasted him on Twitter and got their attention,
That's
and
what Twitter's
finally
for.
they made it out. He's funny.
Expedited
You would like
customer
him.
service.
Put out that
Tell you
fire.
later.
Put out
Really?
that fire.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Chris D'Elia. Also,
I've probably seen him and don't.
You would
just don't know
recognize
his name.
him.
Yeah.
I have some questions about the AdWeek article that we read, which we can link to, but unless you guys pay for an account, you can't read it. Because Sean can't.
That's actually not true.
What? How'd you-
AdWeek will totally give you like 10 articles free.
It wouldn't let me look at it, and I hadn't looked
prob-
at any articles that.
You have to register, but you don't have to give them a credit card or anything. You just in exchange for your email. they'll
I
give
just
you-
see that they
exchange
block-
for
Exchange
your
for part
soul.
of your soul.
Hey, all of you students out there, in exchange for your identity for the rest of your life, which is all contained in your email, by the way,
Get an
they will
email.
give you 10 free articles.
Oh, okay. Well, I can do that, but
Something like that.
Yeah.
Not-
Anyway,
5 or 10 a month.
not to
something like that.
disrupt the flow of the conversation, and these might be dumb questions, but I need help, and I'm sure there are people out here
There
who
are no
also
dumb questions.
don't know. So connected TV versus DTC, which is direct to consumer. Is DTC like YouTube, and CTV is like my Apple TV? Is that the difference?
Sean?
uh-oh.
Say that one more time.
Okay, so it's they talk about connected TV, CTV versus DTC, which they said was direct to consumer. Is DTC like YouTube,
Direct to consumer would be
and is CTV
because CTV
like
is just
my
connected
Apple
TV. So that's
Right.
like it's like
My
an Apple
Apple,
TV. It's like
Roku.
it's
Okay.
any of those over the top devices.
That's what I thought.
So would Hulu count as that?
No, so
they're
that
a
would be a
platform.
service.
That's
Oh,
yes. Okay.
So that would
it
be an
has to
app
it.
that you use on your connected TV device.
Direct to consumer.
Yeah, I actually haven't come across that.
Okay, because it was in the article like I should know, and I didn't know.
Direct to consumer
what a
television.
what a question.
Well, and I'm wondering if that is
Fucking
more the inventory side. So that is your Hulu or
Netflix.
Well, Netflix, there's no ads, but similar.
Well, but direct to consumer meaning that they just pump it into your house versus
yeah.
go to a movie theater. You know, I'm talking about
I
like
see
on the
what you're
movie
saying. Yeah,
production
yeah, yeah.
side.
No, I see
I
what
don't
you're
know.
saying.
I don't know what direct.
That is a good question. See, not a dumb question.
Cool.
That's a great
How about
question.
one of you people sitting in front of behind a laptop and Google that shit?
Google it.
I don't know.
And then
I don't know if this is the best use of our listeners' time.
Well, I'll keep talking because I had more questions, and I like
More
to hear my
questions.
own voice, so I'll keep going. There was also some. You can't pick the content that you place ads with when you go OTT. Like, if you place with Hulu, you can't be like, I want this to run when someone's watching Grey's Anatomy. So how do you just use like
So
geo
here-
and
You're
age
buying it like
targeting?
radio.
Yeah, so here's
Times
no.
because the radio's time slots.
Yeah, you're not. You're buying it like. So here, you're talking about on demand specifically. If you were to, so why would you buy a spot in, let's say This Is Us on traditional broadcast TV?
Because a lot of people watch it.
Yes.
But
and because women, 25
like
to
demo
44.
Yes.
depending. Yeah,
so if I'm buying OTT, I can specify that I just want to hit women 25-54 regardless of the content that they're watching.
Mm-hmm.
So it's as opposed to buying the show to hit a demo and getting spill, you are eliminating spill and targeting people regardless of the content. I don't care if they're watching American Ninja Warrior or the Masked Singer or any of those, as long as the person who is getting served that ad is in the demo I'm trying to target.
So they're like a broker,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I mean, it's consumed like TV, but it's targeted as digital. So
Right.
and that's why
It's
the
best
lines
of
are
both
so
worlds,
blurred as to how do we classify these buys.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and we talked a little bit about that in the last episode. So
and they went into it a little bit more.
yep.
Okay, so you
those
guys
were
go.
good. I think those were great questions.
Direct to consumer.
This
This refers to delivering content without using a middleman. For example, Netflix serves their
Netflix.
content
What about
direct to consumer
What
without
about-
using a network.
How about the big brain on Eddie?
Also likes to hear
That
his
is a tasty burger.
is YouTube one too? Or no?
YouTube would be, yeah, because they're at the platform.
Yep.
So essentially, it's just
But
platform
they're not.
versus-
But YouTube is not generating content.
Yeah, they do.
yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, they are.
Oh, yeah.
They've gone the Netflix model. They have first
they're
party
actually
content.
Yeah.
they're actually
Yeah.
writing stuff now.
Yep.
Oh,
So
I
if
didn't know
you, yeah, so they.
that. Okay, now my brain just got smaller again.
So in
Gotta
the,
knock you down a
this,
peg
no,
a
this
little
is a
bit.
good distinction though, because YouTube essentially found content creators who were creating their own content
Right.
They were their top creators, and then
And then they made those
commissioned.
So
those
is that-
shiesty companies.
That's not the same thing.
Well, they
is it?
commissioned work though, so they essentially said, "Here,
Right.
we want
But
to create."
it's not like Netflix had a bunch of people making movies and uploading them to Netflix, and
No.
they said, "Hey, you want to make us a movie?"
no, but
Sean,
that
it-
content wouldn't have been
yeah.
created unless YouTube had funded
So
it.
is what you're talking
Right.
about
And they wrote it. And,
Okay.
and stuff
like
like
the
that.
Defy
So,
company?
So Defy's even a
I'm not
different,
these yahoos again.
Yeah, so that's even a different because
We've
they're
already given them
essentially
too
much.
they're a multi-channel
I'm
network,
trying to see. Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
they're more like a middleman in regard to
They're a lot like a broker. Way more of a
broker.
broker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So they're not telling necessarily. They're not telling the content creators to, hey, create this content or paying them to do that. They're
Right.
just saying, like,
They're just
we'll
taking
take
the
some of
money.
your ad revenue and give you some legal
Slash
protection.
all.
So is YouTube Red?
YouTube Red doesn't exist.
Well,
But
was
YouTube
that where
Premium.
that?
What about
Yes.
Vivo?
Vivo's a music video.
Yeah, but isn't that like it's through?
No, wait.
I almost said it's through YouTube, and it's like
Yes, but it's strictly for music videos that already exist. It's just distribution of
Oh.
that music content.
So does that just provide you with like this is our official music video, and that's how you
Yeah.
know if it's if you okay, all right,
They probably have record or contracts with record labels.
okay.
We're learning a
A
lot.
lot of this feels
on
like
today's
I should know
episode.
it, but I don't.
Where's the little brain workout?
So we should start doing this earlier every week.
This is like CrossFit for our
No.
brains.
Oh,
Ed, I
CrossFit.
don't think Ed likes the early.
Not as much.
Oh.
No, it is not. It is
Kinda-
nice,
I
kind
am
of to
kinda-
wind the day down.
Do you miss a cocktail?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
drinking water. That's your pint of delicious
straight vodka.
0-calorie water.
You could have had some Irish coffee,
Oh, Irish coffee sounds really
but
good.
you have a day
Problem
after
is,
this.
I had meetings all
Yeah.
morning, so I've had like 10 cups of coffee
I was gonna
easily.
say 10
Decaf,
cocktails.
my guy.
No, 10 cups of coffee.
Decaf.
Could have been a great meeting.
And my morning meetings were on a floor of a building where the shitters were out of order. So you had to go up a level of up one flight or down one flight to take a whiz. It was really
It's a little workout.
Inconvenient.
first world problem.
Especially
It
when
was
you're chugging coffee.
inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, come
Uh,
back, Shawnee. Bring us back.
No, bring it back to OTT. So
Who's down with OTT?
Yeah, you know me.
Whoa.
Where were
Boom.
you on that, Ed?
Sorry.
so
Oh, rude.
as I was looking at it, I mean, so OTT has been something that's been in the conversation for a few years now. And I remember one of the first apps that I experienced OTT through was ESPN. So
Right.
early ESPN streaming, watching college football and getting served the same fucking Coors Light Roll Tide
oh my
ad
God.
Yes.
for
Yeah.
like over every commercial
Makes
break.
you want to die.
Every commercial break.
Yeah.
They're like, there's
6 times in one commercial
I'm like,
break.
so they're the only ones who have a contract with ESPN.
And this is why I'm not an early adopter.
For that reason.
Mind you, yeah, this was like 6 years ago. This was when they were it was ESPN, MLB TV, and a few other sports networks that really were the pioneers of.
That's interesting that they were the pioneers
Yeah.
and all that. But it's, I mean, that's that.
Was CBS one of those? Were they doing
I don't
with
think.
the Masters and with NCAA tournament?
They might have been. So
Because I
they've got
seem to
their
remember them streaming the NCAA tournament
Yeah.
pretty early in the whole
definitely
scheme of
the
things.
streaming video side, not necessarily the like connected TV app, but
yeah.
they absolutely
Right.
did have that very early, especially the boss button.
Right.
Like fun little
The
brand.
boss button is brilliant.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Working.
Working spreadsheets.
Yeah. TPS reports, sir. I'll get them right to you.
From what I can gather, just based on experience and everything, I think that some companies like DirecTV are doing a good job to set themselves up to exist after this. But like cable companies they're gonna have an issue if they're not on top of this. And this doesn't hurt traditional broadcast like you would assume, because they're still brokering their own ad deals, and there's national in there along with local, but that's up to NBC and ABC and CBS and Fox. But when you're watching, like, say, Hulu or Sling live, you're just getting the live stream. You're not getting dynamically inserted ads. So as a media buyer, being able to identify, like, that's not necessarily getting represented in Nielsen books.
Right.
But the more that people switch over and making sure that those services are at least accounted for and an understanding that ads are being served, in a non-measurable way on top of standard broadcasts.
So is there a way to, like, look at everything? Is there a company that is like Nielsen obviously does?
Nielsen wants to be that. I think ComScore wants to be that. There's no one who's officially doing it comprehensively enough.
'Cause that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, but it's hard, right?
So much. Oh, yeah.
Because you've got
How
so
do you
many
do it?
different data points. Well,
Yeah.
and it's a problem that they're trying to solve. So both Nielsen and ComScore are working to do set-top box data. Diaries are going away in terms of Nielsen.
That's because diaries are dumb.
This conversation was happening 30 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
The
Which-
exact same
how-
conversation,
how-
and they still.
How has that not gotten better?
Well,
Right.
because there's no money in it, for one. I mean, they're either
Your
the
5
people
crisp
who,
$1 bills that come for filling out a Nielsen
well,
diary?
no, I meant there's no money in it for Nielsen.
No.
in that
Yeah.
until technology got to a point that allows them to scale that kind of measurement, there just wasn't enough people willing to pay what it would take to go, metered market
Yeah.
globally.
Yeah, and you're totally right there. Especially if you look at sort of small and mid-tier markets, like being able to interpret that data, it fluctuates from book to book. I mean, and they're at least on monthly books now. For the longest time it was quarterly, and it's like, so the summer book.
That's
is-
the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah,
Summer projected to our fall projected to summer huts. and-
exactly.
yeah.
So
Anyway.
it takes very talented media buyers
Mhm.
to interpret that data and not buy just on the numbers. So
You should
Oh,
pat
hell
yourself
yeah.
on the back.
no, I'm not patting myself on the back.
I'll pat you.
Okay,
I can
appreciate
reach
Pat
it.
him. Yeah, I can.
I gotcha.
I was
No,
gonna say,
I
shout
think-
out to my team.
I think though that's a huge deal, man.
It is.
Because that landscape, if you look at the last 10 years, how much has changed? If you're not really aggressive about all that stuff, you will get left behind.
Well, and they are.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a local cable company that I think didn't do themselves very many, did themselves a pretty big disservice in terms of just not wanting to even lay cable in new neighborhoods. And that's why we have a very low cable penetration rate.
Right. Bottom line is, how can you justify investing in infrastructure that you know is going to be obsolete?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm a cable company, well, first off, I mean, most of them I think at this point are diversified. But if you're not, and that's kind of what I started this whole thing with, you're screwed. The distribution channels have changed, and basically cable ran like a public utility, right? So it's like your gas line, your cable line, your telephone line.
That's true.
And you own a distribution channel is all you own if you're the cable company. They don't even own the content, right? They've got to negotiate the content from the providers. So, how do you justify continuing to invest in infrastructure? And that's in the city that we live in, it's one of the fastest growing cities in the country, or maybe in the world. Maybe it's we see it because the growth is happening, and that's not getting that infrastructure is not being put in, but it's understandable.
But if you know something's going to become obsolete and you're not willing to invest in the infrastructure regardless, then why don't you just close up shop?
Well, because you still got a revenue stream, right?
For now.
I mean, for now, yeah. I mean, but it does slowly. It's
surf it till you
they'll-
reach the shore.
Yeah, exactly. They'll divest, or they're saving money or working towards acquisitions or whatever it may be.
You got
know,
to
and-
think there's conversations of how do we figure this out and not lose our ass.
Their
I mean-
their internet prices were just released as the highest in the country
Were they really?
Yeah. because they have data caps.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So you pay your $100 a month, and
Okay,
then
now we're getting into the territory of old man Sean on its frickin' screen porch. They cap my data, and you're paying them a monthly fee.
yeah.
And he's not pleased.
So
okay?
if you're streaming,
And he's not
4K movies,
he's actually not 75 years old.
then
Yeah.
it's like
Finish it. Tell him why you're mad.
I'm mad because I'm not going.
I'm not
to,
going to take it anymore.
I'm not going to take
Let him
it.
finish.
Old
It
man
just
yells at cloud.
Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I love it.
The
Google.
Google. But yeah, I mean, so that's essentially it. It's a series of bad decisions. But so another part of this article was a PR Newswire release that was talking about different advertisers and their data in regard to how they're planning for connected TV and digital video as a whole. So 78% of marketers surveyed plan to purchase ad inventory on streaming TV in the next 12 months. I think that's pretty standard. I mean, I want to know who the 22% aren't. 11% use it as a component of all TV campaigns, and only 2% said they've never used it. So I would assume those are very small shops in probably extremely rural markets. I mean, we do some work up in Alaska, and it just doesn't make sense to include there.
Or folks that don't do comprehensive campaigns, right?
Right.
They might
Yeah.
be, or advertise.
I'm curious if
advertisers
they'd
that
be
are-
included in this study. But yeah, it's like if you don't do TV at all, then
right.
2%.
2%. And then so the breakouts of the ad budget. So 30% of total ad budgets currently among surveyed audiences are allocated to digital video. 28% of that goes to social. 26% is in-stream. So that would be...
Thank you for saying what in-stream is.
So that would be your YouTube or your pre-roll or different, mid-roll content, stuff like that. Traditional, local, or national TV on the digital
Also
side.
a great way to do urine analysis.
In-stream?
In-stream. Yeah. Is 20%.
Warm tip.
And then 12% is OTT and connected TV. So I figured that's
Connected TV.
it's going to be a continually growing number. It makes sense. I mean, we use connected TV as a complement to traditional TV. Rarely do we run just OTT campaigns.
So what do you think is the biggest opportunity?
I think that we're going to see, just like I've said with social for a while, you're going to continue to see costs rise. So this goes back to that conversation we had about digital ad spend overtaking traditional. As more people come to market, costs are going to normalize. And if you're not on board early, you're going to pay a premium for that same space among a more saturated market. So it's finding that, opportunity before costs catch up. Not to say that one cost catch up, the value still will be there, but it's just like if you go, buy a Super Bowl ad, you're among a sea of other advertisers trying to stand out. So if you can be the Coors Light Roll Tide commercial
For a while.
before you burn your audience out.
I
But
was just about to
Way
say,
to bring it around
Mhm.
to the early adoption days.
Yep.
Yep.
they might have been a little too early.
On the entertainment sports programming.
Hey,
network.
better than seeing
But-
that, like the slide that says nothing. Your programming will return momentarily.
Exactly.
Like what?
That same ESPN.
Yes. Oh my gosh! What are you doing?
Which I always found it interesting that they weren't able to feed in national ESPN ads, but I'm sure they just
They were done.
I kind of like it when the occasionally Master Control at NBC will miss a national ad, and you'll see just the peacock.
Yeah.
And the peacock's the feathers change color. It kind of does a little bit of a kind of like it's like the home screen of a Mac kind of a thing. Imagine the Apple
pinwheel of death.
Yeah, it's not quite the pinwheel of death because it's not fast, but it's just
Yeah,
the slow little changing colors of the peacock feathers. It's very soothing for me.
You find comfort.
Yeah,
Especially
I do find
because
comfort
some advertisers losing
Well,
their
yeah,
mind because their spot got preempted by
by
nothing.
peacock. Yeah, by nothing. Master Control.
Yep.
That's a bad day when you're in Master Control. That happens.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but sometimes it might. I don't know.
Right before you get fired. Ding, ding, ding.
That's what make
Time to
goods are
find a
for.
new job, sir.
Loser alert.
So you were in the process of cutting the cord and decided not to.
I haven't yet,
You
but it's
haven't yet.
it's an inevitability because I don't watch it. The only thing I watch is live sports, and then when Game of Thrones comes back on, I want that.
Yeah, then you can
But-
just get an HBO
So you can do
account.
HBO now.
Yeah.
So I got 3 kids.
Or my sister.
10,
Shout
12.
out, Haley.
Haley, what's up? I got 3 kids, 10, 12, and 14. They don't watch any of that. They're on YouTube, Netflix. That's all they watch. I've got Hulu because I did the $1 a month promo that they did this last fall. So I've got Hulu, Netflix.
Ad-free Hulu or what? What you working with?
I don't think
it's,
there is
worth it.
ad.
No, I don't think
Well-
it is.
Ad limited.
Yeah, ad limited. So, yeah.
It's 99 cents a month.
Okay.
I don't know if I've used it yet, but I've got it. But yeah, so I'll eventually cut the cord on it unless they're like,
Pay
hey,
you
we'll
to
give it to you
rent
for
movies
free
again?
again, and
Yeah.
then I'll be like, all right. But I still have to pay to get the HBO.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that when Game of Thrones.
Literally
comes
just
back
find someone
because
with an
I
account.
can't miss that.
I'm very excited about
But
that.
I did DirecTV for a long time, and then I kind of went through the gamut of OTT providers to test a few of them. I thought Sling had a really
Sling is who I would go with.
they had a really poor stream quality.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was. It
You're
was
paying
very
$1,000 a month for your
their
internet.
ads are awesome.
It was so subpar in terms of like picture quality.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, but how good are those ads? Those
They are.
ads are
No,
amazing.
they are. So I
What's
landed
that guy's
on Hulu.
name that was on Parks and Rec? What's the actor's name?
Which
Is
character?
it Adam?
Adam
he-
Scott?
He's the
Chris Pratt?
No, not Chris Pratt. The old guy with
Oh,
the mustache.
Oh.
Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman.
How do you know all that?
Nick Offerman.
That's one of my shows that I
and
like.
the
That was
gal from Will
amazing.
and Grace. What's
Deborah
her name?
It's his
Messing?
wife.
No.
Right?
Oh,
No.
I don't know. Oh, fuck, I do know her name.
She
She's
was also on
hilarious.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, she's.
That's his wife.
You don't know this? You
No.
found
That's his ex-wife on Parks and Rec.
It's
yeah,
his
but it's
ex-
his real life.
It's his real life?
They're
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Megan
Yeah.
Mullany.
And they're the Slingers?
Megan
Oh my
Mullany.
God, Megan
Oh, I
Mullany.
think
Or
you-
Mullally
no
or
idea
something
that they
like
were
that.
married. Yeah.
They're
Holy
married
shit.
in real life.
That makes it even fucking funnier.
Yeah. I haven't seen these ads.
Oh God.
We'll
this
have
is
to-
a
Whoa,
gravy
you
ad?
haven't seen the Slinger
They're
ads?
slingers.
No.
Oh,
We'll have
yeah,
to
we're
link to
s-
these for sure.
We're slingers.
That,
Oh, they're
that
like-
is,
Yeah.
that
It's a
is
play
a
on
great
Swingers?
campaign.
Yes.
Okay.
Play on swingers.
She's hilarious.
Hilarious. We like to invite a bunch of friends to come over.
It's Megan Mullally, I think. I don't.
Megan Mullane.
It's not
Mullally.
Just-
Mullally.
just slur it.
Mulholly.
It's a bit- Megan Mullally. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
What about you, Ed?
It's Megan Mullally.
My wife and I just had this discussion, and she took the Sean approach, and she's like, "Why the fuck are we paying DirecTV?" And I said,
that
"Because."
sounds. Yeah.
It's blunt. I
And
like that.
I said, A, because it's a write-off, so we only pay 60% of it.
Okay,
And
that's a fair point.
B,
yeah.
I make money moves.
and B, I like
Cardi B.
NFL ticket,
Oh,
and
Sunday
you know,
ticket, yeah. It's a DirecTV product.
DirecTV product.
Yeah, it is.
They
Wait,
they
Mark has, like,
negotiate
an
an
app for
exclusive
this.
deal with the NFL.
Something.
I mean, you can see
text him.
NFL games
Yeah.
on not on DirecTV,
Yeah.
but the ticket is the NFL ticket. You can get to any game that's played anywhere at any time. You can have multiple games at once.
Red Zone Channel.
You can have Red Zone Channel. You
I love
can
the Red
you
Zone
can
Channel.
yeah. So you know,
Live sports,
and I
man.
and I don't even mind
That's
and
the
I don't
game
even
changer.
mind
So Hulu does it really
Yeah.
well with live
Yeah.
sports, and that was ultimately what allowed me to make the switch because I was like, well, I'm not missing college football.
right.
Like,
And I will admit that I do still like having the ability to get to a variety of programming without changing my receiver, changing a bunch of shit, you know, hopping back and forth. I mean, we watch plenty of stuff on Netflix through Apple TV.
Yep.
We have plenty of over the top channels that we're watching in the household.
Do you
I
watch
still
the Hallmark
enjoy,
channel a
I
lot?
still enjoy though. No, but I do enjoy putting on a little CNN when I get home from work and seeing kind of what the shit show's about today.
That just gives me anxiety.
Yeah. Oh, and dude, I was like, so I was watching Chris Cuomo on CNN. He comes on after Don Lemon. Anyway, I'm Catholic. I think we already established that early in the show. And I'd been walking around all day with my big old cross on my forehead.
Whoever did,
which you kind of forget you have on.
they did a good job.
But
with it.
they
There
did
was
do a good
lot.
job. But then I got home and Chris Cuomo is Catholic and he had one and he's on the air, right? And it's like I'd kind of forgotten that I had mine on until I saw him. I'm like, oh my God, that's what you look like right now. And you could just see all the guests. They're like staring at him like you're just like,
How do you not look?
something on your face.
Yeah, mole.
Fucked up. That's funny.
How do you not?
So
look?
anyway, the every year, you know, you do the Ash Wednesday thing, and it's just funny because we live in a Western state. Back east, you know, there's so many Catholics that
Yeah.
you know it's like nobody thinks twice about it. But in the West, it's a little bit different deal.
I only saw a couple people.
Ed, I think you were the only person I saw that had it the whole day. Really? Yeah. And I saw you briefly.
Thankfully,
I wasn't saying that.
I inserted that. Point.
Yeah, you did.
Ball's good. Oh,
What's your streaming situation?
We have an Apple TV.
She sits to stream.
Yeah. We don't have any cable. I haven't had a cable situation. LOL. It's a pee joke. I'm peeing. I get it. I haven't had a cable situation like since I lived in my parents' house. And the first house
So you're a cord
I love
never.
it when she decides to be Miss Maturity over here. It's a pee joke. I get it.
I can do what I want. It's
really,
a country.
that was really bratty.
I'm
Don't be-
multifaceted.
I was like, we're
Don't
50
be
minutes
such a
in,
brat.
so.
Yeah.
She does do bratty well.
We just stream stuff, and I don't really care about the sports as much, so Clark handles it. Like, we have certain apps for him to watch live sports, and I thought it was a red ticket app. I'm being serious. So if he responds, I'll interject and interrupt whoever's talking because I want to.
And because you are good
Maybe
at
you
it.
can get a Sunday ticket standalone. For some reason, I was thinking that it was just.
Well, you could
DirecTV, but-
you could maybe get it through the DirecTV app,
Yeah.
but then you're still paying
Paying
DirecTV.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's-
I don't know. Again,
If
like
they
since
may
I
have
don't
an app
care.
It's
only
a pretty,
option.
Yeah, it's a pretty penny. But
Did I say red ticket too?
did.
Okay.
You did.
Thank you
We
for
knew what you
doing that.
meant.
Also, I needed to clarify something I said in a past podcast.
Does it involve peeing?
No.
Good. Ed, just FYI.
No. It involves Clark said NFL Sunday ticket.
Oh, okay.
So the money still goes to them. Whatever. But it was a few episodes ago.
Is he watching like on a laptop or on a pad or iPad or
a
something?
TV through the Apple TV?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, or I don't think because we have Apple TV in the living room, and then his PlayStation is hooked up to like some shit I don't know in our other TV room. I told you guys I don't.
Technology,
Some
baby.
shit. It's a
Some
technical
shit.
term.
But the thing I want to clarify is a few weeks ago we were talking about the movie. I wrote it down because I don't like.
Where's your notes? Where's your notes? Oh, you talked to me about this the other day.
Well, maybe.
Oh.
But I said date night was with Tina Fey.
Yeah,
Or I said
right.
date night was with Rachel McAdams, but that's actually game night. Date
Yes,
night has
it's
Tina
Tina
Fey.
Fey.
And I misspoke, and I apologize. So if that...
You know what?
What was
See
the
how-
pop culture
Which was-
connoisseur
hey,
like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Which
got-
movie was better?
I didn't see game
I
night.
haven't seen Game Night either.
Oh, I haven't seen
I heard it's really
Game
good.
Night is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
heard
bet
it's
it was
great.
funny.
I actually think I enjoyed Game Night better than Date Night. Although I have seen Date Night 3 or 4 times. My wife loves that show. So, but Game Night is great. I mean, if you like Justin Bateman, which
Jason.
I mean Jason
I
Bateman.
love Justin Bateman.
His brother.
his sister's name is Justine, right?
I didn't know he had
Yeah,
a sister.
Jason and
Oh,
Justine
yeah.
Bateman.
I didn't
Whatever happened
And
to her?
Justine Bateman was on what show was she on? She was in
Difference. No.
no, not Different Strokes. She was Tootie in Different Strokes.
No. What
Different
was she
Strokes
in?
is the Gary
Justine
Coleman show.
Bateman.
Family Ties.
Yes.
Yeah, Family
Oh.
Ties.
Well, yeah.
Those all blur
So that's my
together.
streaming situation.
Also, speaking of Jason Bateman, Arrested Development. The new season comes out soon. The 5th season. That's a murder mystery, and I'm stoked.
That's
cool.
pretty funny.
So it's
I
just like
am
Ozarks.
Jazzed about Ozark. I love that. Love that.
I said Ozarks, but
Ed said
That's okay.
jazzed.
yeah.
It's good.
We didn't
Well-
finish the first season. I don't know why. It kind of just fell off for us. But
Yeah, it's kind of one of those shows that I think it's actually better streamed. It's better watching it 2-3 episodes at a time.
yeah.
Binge.
Binge, baby.
Well, yeah, I don't know about I mean, I don't think you need to actually watch the whole thing start
Well,
to
wait a
finish
second.
in a
To
weekend.
clarify,
But-
let's identify what does binge. How many episodes qualifies
Well, that's where I'm
as
going.
a binge?
I think
I'll
a
Google it.
binge means that you watch a season. You sit down and watch a season. To
I
me, that's
disagree.
binging.
I think is if you are watching 3 or more episodes, it's a bit of a binge.
Okay, hold on.
Couple episodes.
Hold on. Words matter, people.
Words
They
do
do.
matter.
Let me-
So does intention.
shifting your chair and you hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Let me draw an analogy for you.
You do it, and then I have an
You
answer.
have
I love analogies. Go ahead.
You have a sleeve of Chips Ahoy cookies.
You mean a
You
serving?
eat 3 of those. Did you binge them?
No.
If you eat the whole sleeve, did you binge them?
How many cookies are in a sleeve?
How many sleeves are in
it's
a package?
sleeve. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you a sleeve.
Oh, if
A
it's
sleeve
a
of
10,
cookies.
If it's a 10
I'm
episode
telling you
season,
this, and I am God, so go with my
if it's a 10
conditions.
episode season, I say binge watching is more than half of those episodes. I've binged a little bit. Now I can binge the whole thing, and then I'm a professional binger. But if I only watch 3 episodes,
Then you have a binging problem.
I just watched a few episodes. If I watch 2, I watch.
That's
a
what I'm
couple.
saying. Well, you were saying 3 episodes was a
Well,
binge.
okay.
You're making my
Gentlemen?
point.
For a
Yeah.
six,
You
six
are
episode
making my
season?
point.
Gentlemen,
Yeah, good job.
gentlemen.
Yeah, for
No,
a
you
6
gotta-
episode season.
Did you see that weak ass high five? He
who-
was like, "Get away, get out." Give me a real high five.
Who has a 6 episode season? Come on.
Game of Thrones, their new season is. Is it 8?
It might be 8, or it might be
It's-
6,
I
but
wanna
they're
say
all
it's-
2 hours.
they're
Like,
long.
2
it's-
hours. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's
I have
6
some
movies.
statistics.
That's like saying
That's binge. If you watched half of those at 2 hours each, that's some binging.
I have a statistic.
Yeah,
Oh.
I feel like binging needs to take either an entire day or a entire day part
let me
of 2
read-
days in the
Do
weekend.
you
Yeah.
have the same? Okay.
So I don't know if I have the same.
Did you
thing
guys
as
look up
you
the
have.
same stat?
Well, my Google query. How do you
Query.
was how many episodes qualifies as a binge, and the binge watching Wikipedia page writes, in a survey conducted by Netflix in February 2014, which I realize is old, 73% of people define binge watching as watching between 2 to 6 episodes or more of the same TV show in one sitting. Researchers have argued that binge watching should be defined based on the context
You're all
and the
over
actual
on this.
content
2
of
to
the show.
6.
All I said was,
well, so okay.
Taking
what
credit
do you-
for it.
episode length?
That was a I'm taking credit of
Nope.
being right.
that was
No
that
bullshit.
was that was
You're
Does
so full of
episode
shit.
length
poking the box.
then
And
come
this-
into play?
This
What's
one,
that?
Does
Yes.
episode length come
Yes.
into play?
Well,
Because if you
certainly.
watch like 6 half-hour episodes, that's the same as
yeah.
watching 3
I think that's a binge.
hour episodes.
6.
So
Yeah,
I
think
typed
it's a
in binge watching into Google, and
What'd you get?
the Google definition is the practice of watching multiple episodes of a television program in rapid succession, typically by means of DVDs or digital streaming.
It's got to be. It has to
But
be at least a couple
Do you
of
really
hours.
feel like watching 2 episodes of something is binging?
Not at
I mean,
all.
honestly.
No, I absolutely
No.
do not.
And
Especially
I
at
think
30
a
minutes.
little
it's a slippery
indulging.
slope. So then 3 is kind of like almost binging. 4 to me is like, okay, you're starting to binge. I agree with you. 5, you definitely binged. 6, you're
binged.
uber binging.
You're on a
That's
bender.
And then
That's
if you
3
do the
hours
whole
of a
season,
30-minute show.
that's a quality. What'd you do this weekend? All I did was binge.
Yeah, and that you bring in actually what you're wearing as well.
Yeah.
Your wardrobe.
Yeah,
wardrobe
Absolutely.
counts.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you keep the same clothes on the
That
whole
does.
time,
Yeah, that doesn't count.
no, I think that supports
Oh, I mean-
binging.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
We
you
agree.
can't change clothes during a binge.
No, and you can't wear your regular.
Although
street
you
clothes.
can, I think you can have relationships between episodes and
That's
still
fair.
call it a binge.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? I mean, the rapid succession, but I think you
Relate-
can have
Wait,
a.
which part's in rapid succession?
A stream.
Well, I'm saying you can take a 10-minute break, have your Saturday, sock party, and come back and watch another.
All the metaphors in this relationships, sock parties.
that was more of a euphemism.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
It's okay.
getting technical here.
Sorry, Miss
Bigness
Google.
time.
All right, guys.
I love how excited we got about defining binge watching.
Hey, look, we're answering the
Words
important
matter.
questions here.
Yeah, words matter.
As Ed says, words matter.
Words
So,
matter.
all right, well, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of AdSquawk. Be sure to follow us on the socials at AdSquawkPod and tweet at us using hashtag AdSquawk. We want to hear questions, stories, and also those 5-star reviews. We are shameless
want
about
them.
it. This is a little last second side tangent. So,
Oh, yay.
Side
I
tangent.
was going to say, we got a lovely "Are you open to sponsorships?"
Oh.
thing. So if you want to
Yes.
send those through, we're also down for that. But as Jody said, you have to leave us a 5-star review
Yeah, it's
as
a prerequisite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
to just make sure that you've listened. So, but anyway,
Move us up a little before you ask us out.
Exactly, right?
Obviously.
All right. So thank you guys, and make sure to subscribe on your platform of choice and leave us a review, like I just said. So join the flock. Till
Only
next time.
nice reviews. Thanks. Bye. Squaw.